Hello everybody, my name is Bruno Schickel. I'll try to speak up because that's really the only thing I want to know. It's nice to be here and I appreciate you all coming. And I will say, I'll echo what John said, I'm disappointed the other two board members aren't here. That is really surprising. Caroline has been evolving for 200 years. The settlers came in, they cut down the trees, they burned to the top of the hills. Every little, the military lots, tracts of 60 acres, there's a farm here, farm there, farm there. Those started to fail. People started, farms started consolidating. And, they got bigger and bigger. You see a lot of those remnants of those farms around, and they started failing. A little hamlet like this had a heyday, and then it sort of slid back, and there's this ebb and flow that happens. And people make little adjustments. They make little adjustments to their life, to their need. They adapt to their circumstance. And what zoning does fundamentally is it inserts central planning. It basically says, we're the experts. We know best for you all what needs to happen to preserve our rural character in this case. And I don't think there's actually any disagreement that people really like the rural character of Caroline. And I would argue that the rural character of Caroline is not threatened by the lack of zoning. But I would argue that it's actually threatened by zoning being proposed. I mean, significantly threatened. If you want to talk about central planning, just take a look around to the other towns around that have central planning. Go to Lansing. It's large lot suburbia. I mean, I've built big houses over there. I've built multi-million-dollar houses. There's, McMansions along everywhere. They're popping up like daisies. The zoning proposal that you put in place is large lot suburban zoning. It's saying we want suburbia for Caroline. And it's under the mistaken notion that it's going to somehow preserve the rural nature. And it is going to do anything but. I'm telling you, I'm not, I don't think this is hyperbole. It is going to result in that. For instance, let's just take the 3-acre or 5-acre lot size proposal. The whole idea of that is that it's going to preserve open space. No, it's not. It's going to gobble up everything faster. I mean, it's completely insane. If you truly want to preserve open space, you've got to say you want to allow people to build as dense as possible, not the opposite. I mean, logic tells you if you're going to build 10 houses and you need 50 acres versus 10 houses and you're going to need 2, which one preserves open space more? Which one preserves the rural character? Now, when I drive here to Speedsville, and I drive any place in Carolina, one of the things that's very powerful is a lot of people around here are struggling. I mean, this is a tough town. It's not a wealthy town. And it's really important that the town government watch out for the little guy. That is, in my mind, that's one of the most primary roles of government, to watch out for the little guy. Because if people like me, I'll be just fine. I really mean it. I mean, I don't think of myself as a little guy, but zoning by its very nature is going to be manipulated to the advantage of people with money, people with power, and people with connections. That's what's going to happen. They're going to write the laws and the rules to benefit them. And I'll give you a perfect example of, I built Boy Scout cottages, I'm very proud of it. I think it was a great addition to the town. People love living there. It increases your tax base. It's very environmentally sensitive. I have 140 houses on 40 acres of land. Okay? Now, what are the rules that I had to follow? I had to get septic approval from the Township County Health Department. So the septic rules are already in place everywhere in the town. You don't need zoning to protect the environment when it comes to septic. I had to comply with stormwater management rules. The stormwater, I had to put together a stormwater prevention and pollution plan called the SWIP. That's required by the state of New York if you disturb over an acre of land. Those rules already exist. And then for all sorts of other industries, whether it's agriculture, gas stations, a variety of other industries, New York State has all sorts of other regulations in place to provide environmental protection for those. So the argument that we need this zoning, this 130-some page document, because that's the only way we can protect the environment, it's just simply not true. Those rules are already in place. The water, the groundwater, the stormwater, all those things are already being protected. So, as a general rule, most people in this country, their life savings is tied up in their home. Amen. And their property, their land. That is pretty typical for most people. The biggest asset is their